Hey there, adventurers. Welcome to Top List Passport, the channel where we explore the world one fascinating list at a time.
From breathtaking destinations and cultural hotspots to quirky, off-the-beaten-path finds, we're here to inspire your wanderlust and maybe even spark your next adventure.
Whether you love diving into unique places, uncovering hidden gems, or just dreaming about where to go next, this is the place for you.
So, if you're as curious about the world as we are, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications.
Now, let's dive into today's list and see what the world has in store. Today, we're hitting the road, like a classic American road trip.
Oh, yeah.
We're not just driving anywhere, we're going to the Midwest.
Nice.
And I bet you think you know the Midwest right.
Cornfields.
But we're going way beyond the cornfields and all those stereotypes.
Okay.
We're finding some hidden gems and maybe some stuff that's not so great.
So, the best and the worst.
We're going to uncover the good, the bad, and maybe even the unexpected in every single Midwestern state.
Sounds like fun.
Buckle up, everyone, because it's going to be a wild ride. Let's hit the road. First stop,
Illinois.
home of Chicago. And also home to something else you might not know about. It's actually the pumpkin capital of America.
Really?
Yeah, no, it's surprising, but Illinois supplies a whopping 95% of all the pumpkins in the U.S.
Wow. I guess that makes sense when you think about all those pumpkins we use for everything in the fall. Halloween and Thanksgiving.
But before you book your ticket to a pumpkin patch, there is one tiny detail you might want to think about.
What's that?
Well, Illinois also has some of the highest rates of mosquito and tick-borne illnesses in the country.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You gotta be careful with those little guys, especially if you're spending time outdoors like hiking or camping.
Exactly, so definitely pack the bug spray and maybe even those long sleeves, just in case.
Good advice.
Okay, next up we're heading to Indiana, home of the Indy 500.
Fast cars.
And something else that might surprise you, Indianapolis is actually a renter's paradise. Incredibly affordable.
Really?
I know, I was surprised too. The average rent in Indianapolis is only $806. That's way cheaper than a lot of big cities, especially those pricey ones on the coast.
Wow, that's amazing, especially for people who are just starting out or maybe looking for a more affordable place to live.
But there's going to be a trade-off somewhere, right? That nothing's perfect.
Well, let's just say Indiana's air quality isn't exactly winning any awards.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's because they rely a lot on coal power, which unfortunately contributes to air pollution.
Yeah, so maybe save those deep breaths for when you're out in the countryside.
Good point. Onward to Iowa.
Iowa. The first thing that comes to mind is cornfields.
Yeah, cornfields for sure, but also something else that might surprise you. Iowa has the most affordable housing in the entire country.
Wait, seriously?
Seriously, the median home price is only $181,900. That's a fraction of what you'd pay in other places.
That's incredible. I'm starting to see a pattern here. The Midwest seems like a great place to save money.
You got that right. Hold on, before you start packing your bags, there's one thing you should know about.
What's that?
Iowa's bridges, especially some of the older ones, aren't exactly in tip-top shape.
Oh yeah, that's right. They have a lot of bridges that are considered structurally deficient.
Yeah, so maybe stick to those well-maintained highways just to be safe.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, I've always wanted to take a road trip through the Midwest. Just imagine those wide open spaces and those endless roads.
Speaking of road trips, Kansas is calling. Get ready for some serious cruising because Kansas has the smoothest roads in the entire country.
Wow, really? No potholes.
I know, right? It's a dream come true for road trippers. Imagine driving down those open highways, wind in your hair, not a bump in sight.
I can practically hear the road trip playlist already.
Even in a state as seemingly perfect as Kansas for road trips, there are some shadows.
What do you mean?
Sadly, Kansas has been dealing with a really tough issue. Human trafficking. It's a heartbreaking reality affecting communities all over the state.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. It's a reminder that even in the most beautiful places, there are serious problems.
It's true. Okay, let's shift gears and head to Michigan, a state known for its amazing natural beauty and, get this, a passion for golf.
Michigan. Golf, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Well, get this. Michigan has more golf courses per capita than any other state in the U.S.
Wow, that's a lot of golf courses. Imagine teeing off against a backdrop of those beautiful lakes and forests.
It's a golfer's paradise for sure. But amidst all that beauty, you got to keep an eye on your belongings.
Why?
Because Michigan unfortunately has a high rate of identity theft.
So it's not just about pickpockets, it's about people stealing your personal information.
Exactly. So be extra cautious with your stuff, even when you're on vacation. And maybe consider a credit monitoring service.
Good tips. Safety first.
Okay, we're heading north to Minnesota. Land of 10,000 lakes, amazing credit scores, and some seriously intense winters.
Minnesota, nice. I've heard so much about how friendly people are in Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesotans are known for their kindness, and they're also super responsible with their money. They actually have the highest credit scores in the whole country.
Wow. That's impressive. Maybe they're teaching financial literacy in those ice fishing huts.
Maybe so. Speaking of ice fishing, let's talk about those Minnesota winters. They're legendary, and not always in a good way.
How bad are we talking?
Think mountains of snow, temperatures way below freezing, and a whole lot of layers.
I'm getting cold just thinking about it.
Me too. I might have to stick to visiting Minnesota in the summer when I can actually enjoy those beautiful lakes and go hiking.
Good plan.
Okay, next stop is Missouri. It's known for its incredible generosity, some seriously delicious barbecue, and, well, a few things we should probably talk about.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's going on in Missouri?
Well, first, the good stuff. Missourians are incredibly charitable, especially in St. Louis. It always ranks as one of the most giving cities in the U.S.
That's heartwarming to hear.
It really is. That Midwestern hospitality is the real deal. But, like we said, every state has its challenges, and Missouri has been struggling with high rates of drug use.
That's tough. No place is immune to these kinds of problems.
All right, let's head to Nebraska. It's a state that seems to have a unique combo. A love for education and, well, maybe a little bit of road rage.
Nebraska. Road rage. It doesn't sound very Midwestern.
But here's the thing. Nebraska has an amazing high school graduation rate, one of the best in the country. It's clear that education is a big deal there.
That's great. It's good to see a state investing in its young people.
It really is. But then there's this other side. Nebraska also has a reputation for having, well, let's just say some impatient drivers.
So maybe all that steading leads to some stress on the highways.
Maybe. But maybe just be prepared for a little bit of assertive driving when you're in Nebraska.
I'll keep that in mind.
Okay, let's venture north to North Dakota, a state known for its wide open spaces, its practicality, and let's just say a love for a good time.
North Dakota. Now that's a state I don't know much about.
Well, get this. North Dakota has the highest percentage of adults with savings accounts in the entire U.S.
Wow, they're really good at saving.
Talk about classic Midwestern practicality, right? Being responsible, the whole deal.
It's impressive, but like we've been saying, every state has its contrast. What's the other side of North Dakota?
Well, North Dakota also has a really high rate of binge drinking, and unfortunately that's led to a lot of alcohol-related driving accidents.
That's sad to hear. It's a good reminder that having fun and being responsible go hand in hand.
Absolutely. Okay, next up is Ohio. It's often seen as a bellwether state, especially when it comes to politics.
Bellwether state, what does that even mean?
Basically, it means that how Ohio votes in presidential elections often predicts how the whole country will vote. It's like a microcosm of America.
Oh, interesting. So if you want to get a sense of where the country's headed politically, keep an eye on Ohio.
You got it. But Ohio's facing some real challenges too, especially when it comes to job creation. Some parts of the state are doing really well, but others are struggling.
That makes sense. It's easy to forget that even in a state with so much political influence, real people are dealing with real issues.
So true. Okay, we're heading to South Dakota now. It's a state that seems to offer both amazing retirement living and some really tough challenges.
South Dakota, huh? I always think about Mount Rushmore when I think of South Dakota.
Yeah, Mount Rushmore is definitely a must-see. But South Dakota also consistently ranks really high for retirees, thanks to its low taxes and its happy residents.
So it's a good place to relax and enjoy your golden years.
Sounds like it. But there's a shadow lurking over this idyllic picture. South Dakota also has a really high child mortality rate, which is just heartbreaking.
Oh, wow. That's really sad. Even in places that seem like paradise, there are people struggling.
It's true. Okay, we're nearing the end of our Midwestern road trip, and our last stop is Wisconsin. It's famous for its cheese, its beer, and its commitment to family safety.
Wisconsin. I'm already picturing cheese curds and a cold beer.
Me too. And here's the thing. Wisconsin has a ton of cities that are considered super safe and perfect for raising kids. They have low crime rates, friendly neighborhoods, the whole package.
That's great. It sounds like a parent's dream.
It really does. But even in the state that prioritizes families, there are issues that need to be addressed, like racial inequality.
Yeah, that's a problem in so many parts of the U.S., even in places known for being safe and family-oriented.
So true. Okay, that was quite the whirlwind tour of the Midwest. From pumpkin patches to political battlegrounds, affordable housing to maybe some not-so-great bridges, the Midwest is full of surprises.
It really is, and we've only just scratched the surface.
Exactly. There's so much more to discover in this amazing region. So maybe the Heartland, like any heart, is complex.
I think that's a great way to put it. It's not perfect, but it's real, it's authentic, and it's full of heart.
And that's what makes it so special.
Go experience the Midwest for yourselves. Don't just visit. Really immerse yourselves in it. Discover its complexities, its contrasts, its beauty, and maybe even its flaws.
And figure out what Heartland means to you.
Because it's different for everyone.
And that's a wrap on our Midwestern deep dive. We hope you enjoyed the journey as much as we did.
Safe travels, everyone.
And until next time, keep exploring.